Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Amit, and in this video we are going to talk about what all authentication schemes are available while we are working with integration in Salesforce or we are integrating Salesforce with third-party APIs. In the coming next 5 to 10 minutes, we are going to work on the key difference between authentication and authorization and what are type of authentication that we are going to work in the coming lectures in this course. So let's quickly start with the key difference between authorization and authentication. This is the concept where many people get confused between authentication and authorization. Authentication is nothing, it is to identify the authenticity that if you are an authentic person to log in into that platform or to access that platform or not. This authentication can be done with the help of different things, like you can go to the UI where you can enter your credential like username, password, or you can send some unique identifier like access token, unique federation ID, or your API key, or anything which uniquely identifies that it's you and you are the authentic person to access the platform. This is a very simple to identify the authentication. And after you are authenticated, that means after you have got access to the system, then only authorization can come into the picture. If you are not authenticated person, that means there is no role of authorization, because if you are not authenticated, you are not authorized to perform any kind of steps or task in that platform. That is why authorization means what level of permission do you have to perform that particular task. Let me give you a simple example to you. We all have been in college sometime. You as a student, if you are going to the college, your security person is going to ask authenticity that you are an authentic person to enter into the college campus. If you are not authenticated person, you will not get an entry to the college campus. The person can be teacher or student or any other person who is authenticated to get entry into the campus. Once you get entry, as we are taking an example of a student goes to the class, sits there, and after that teacher comes and takes the classes as per their knowledge or as per their department. Now if we talk about attendance, a student cannot mark their own attendance. They are not authorized person. They don't have that level of permission. But teacher can, because teacher is authorized. Teacher is authenticated to enter into college campus, and then teacher has permission to mark the student attendance. So this is the key difference between authorization and authentication. Now let's leverage this concept into the IT world with an example of a product that we are developing. Let's say we are developing a product which is of integration with Salesforce and LinkedIn. There is a requirement. You wanted to create a job post into the LinkedIn whenever a record is created into the job custom object in Salesforce. Now how you will do? First thing, you must need to be a authenticated person so that you can send the data to the LinkedIn API to the LinkedIn server, and they can authenticate you and see if you are authenticated person, then they will see your permission. If you have that level of permission against your role or against your name or not. If you have, they will send a response back to you saying that here is a link of your post that we created, this is the created date, and these are the status like if you have shared, what is the visibility, and some other parameters as well. And if you are not authenticated, that means If you are authenticated but not authorized, then it will send you the error response in a back saying that you are not authorized person. Contact with your app developer who developed this application, or contact with your admin to give you this level of application. The same error that we got while we don't have access to any record for deleting or viewing, we get the error in Salesforce of insufficient privilege. Authorization is related to something that, and authenticity is like you go to the URL login.salesforce.com, test.salesforce.com, or your custom domain, provide your credential and login. That is the authenticity. You are authenticated person to enter into that platform. So this is all about authentication and authorization. Now let's talk about what all authentication schemes are available that we are going to work with throughout the course. The first authentication scheme that we are going to work is basic authentication. How this work and what is the use and which particular API is used and how we can decode that authentication, or a third party system how can decode that and get the information that is valuable to them. And then we are going to work in API key based authentication, where in each request we need to append API key for any request that we are sending to get or post the data. And then we have auth 1.0, which is three-legged authentication. We can also say three-step verification, where we can verify a person in a three-step. And this is why this particular authentication scheme 1.0 is more complex than 2.0, because 2.0 is two-step verification, which has two steps. First step to get the code unique to every user, and then second step is to get the unique access token for that user. And we have assigned a separate lecture for each of these authentication scheme, so you no need to worry about this. We will discuss in details in the coming lectures. And at the end that we are going to work is JWT, JSON Web Token. This is also an authentication scheme that comes under auth 2.0 that we are also going to cover. So this is it for this lecture, and if you have any doubts, please feel free to put down those into the question and answer section, and I will be more than happy to assist you. Thank you.